little nerfed a little bit. Uh,
Hmm. Battle cruisers got nerfed
Battle
as
cruisers got
well.
nerfed.
Yep,
They did.
their damage went from 10 to 8, which is just because people say battle cruisers weren't overpowered, but come on, really, someone gets like 10 battle cruisers out, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
It's
it's really difficult. It's really
and
difficult to
and a
maneuver.
Terran can stalemate a game like you know they can just be like, oh, I'm gonna turtle up, stalemate the game, and then just get battle cruisers, and the other person's like, oh, I don't know what to do, and then bam, battle cruiser in your base
Right.
game. So
Like Scruffles, who
yeah,
all he does is mass battle cruisers.
yeah,
We have a friend who plays, and he just walls into space and masses battle cruisers, and 1A is his way to win to victory.
yeah. It's so cool in free for all when you work your ass off killing everyone else, and all of a sudden there's 20 battle cruisers in your face, and you have no units. So
Yeah,
F that guy.
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I am a little partial to making them a little faster. Like if they made the battle cruisers a little bit quicker, along with the carriers and along with the broodlords, I don't think I'd necessarily be against that.
No.
That's just it's so annoying when you're on creep, even for a Zerg player, and your units are twice as fast, but your freaking broodlords are still slow as hell, and you have
Hmm.
to wait, and it's like so it's kind of a pain to kind of maneuver that, and it's got to be for every race with carriers if you're trying to do that, or even
Yeah,
battle cruisers with
or at
Terran.
least like allow an option for them to allow like an upgrade that you can if you just want to have it.
No, don't give Zerg any more upgrades. I have
They
to
deserve
upgrade
it.
everything. I'm surprised I
Um,
don't have to upgrade creep. It's ridiculous. Zerg have like 500 billion upgrades.
yeah, they do.
It's annoying.
I don't see a lot of Zergs use the Overlord upgrade where like you can transport units.
Yeah,
That looks
the ventral sacks.
yeah. That'd be I like to see a little more like Doom drops. I miss those from Brood War.
Yeah.
It's like you see 50 Overlords, just you're like, oh, you gotta be, and then bam, all on your
You,
base.
you know what I think it is not so much in the high level stuff because those high level guys and their APM and their macros they're on point, but I don't think maybe you see it as much on forums or as much of a viable strategy because people are still kind of figuring out the game and they're still learning how the mechanics work. I think so.
Yeah,
They're really, really shy. I know even when the beta, I was like devastated if I lost an overlord, but it's only like 100 minerals.
yeah,
So once you realize that as a Zerg, as an ultra macro race, when your 100 minerals is like it's one trip for your drones. I mean, it's not that serious. So
hmm,
I think maybe when people start figuring that out, they'll be less inclined to you know, to be weary of losing overlords or using units, something like that. I think that's a lot of thing. I think maybe that's kind of hindering a lot of players right now, especially Zerg players. Is the whole concept is their bio and you throw them out there, and the whole point is you're not supposed to be able to take an army and just 1A your way to winning
yeah,
with a Zerg army. If you're gonna win a game against a decent player, you're gonna have to reinforce at least once or twice. You're gonna have to replenish that army at least once or twice,
and get a good surround
and
too.
get
Because if
and
if you
yeah,
just try and hit him from the right on, it's not gonna work.
right, right. So, I think those are little things I think that people are starting to figure out more and more, and I know for some you diamond players or even platinum players, we're beating a dead horse, but a lot of that stuff, some of these newer guys and a lot of these players who've never even played the first Brood War or StarCraft or Brood War, they're gonna figure that stuff out, and I think it'll get better as far as people, all upset and raging on forums in terms of how Zerg suck and their terrible race and all this other stuff,
Yeah,
which they're not, by the way. The ultraless damage for the new patch has been decreased from 15. It's actually plus 25 versus armored to 15 now, and plus 20 versus armored. Right.
yeah,
So instead of the base damage is still 15, and we went down plus 5 in the armor the verse armored category. So a little bit of a nerf, not too much. Ultras, in my opinion, are a little bit, again, the whole Zerg army concept is you're not going to make a bunch of ultras and expect them to survive when you go attack a base.
yeah. You gotta overwhelm your opponent. That's
Right.
like the only thing you can do.
It's not like building 20 battle cruisers and running over there and if you lose the battle cruisers, it's a wrap. With
Yeah.
Zerg, if you lose your army, the whole point is to replenish. So the units aren't as tough as they should be, or as far as tier 3 is concerned, in terms of how they stack up with the other races. So um, I'm not really too upset about that nerf myself. Ultras are, I mean, they're great units and they're great to smash on buildings and if you get
Hmm.
hits around on bio balls and stuff like that. But
Speaking of the buildings, though, you know how like the thing they had where they would hit the building like in a certain way with like
right,
it's different than a normal attack.
the headbutt.
That yeah, that didn't have splash, but now they got rid of it. So when an Ultralisk attacks a building,
Hmm.
it's gonna have splash. So let's say like a planetary fortress, if like a Terran's being a jackass and like repairing his planetary fortress,
All those SCVs.
yeah, you can when the Ultra's doing damage to planetary fortress, bam bam bam, splash damage, SCVs die, which is
Right.
awesome. Finally, no more freaking immune planetary fortresses.
Right.
So that's cool.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, as far as the other races, not too much else going on. A couple tweaks here and there. Nothing too earth shattering. They didn't remove Marauders from the game, which they should.
Dang it.
They shouldn't. They didn't. They didn't make Terran the ability to wall off. They didn't take that away from them. There wasn't anything that was too out of control. So
I heard rumors of people like asking for like stim away from Marauders, like taking stim away.
from Marauders.
Like I said, nerfing's cool, but it's nerfing can actually ruin a game. If you nerf too many units, no one really wants to do anything with them, and that just like
Right.
puts them away. Instead, maybe buff some units so that they can like counter those, you know. And
Mhm.
I hate, and if you nerf a unit too much, like I said, Terran gets all this hate, but you know, it's just it's only been out for like what? The game's been out for like 31 days or like a little more, like I think 31 days.
Right.
Of course, people don't know how to beat stuff yet. The game hasn't been out for that long, and people are already crying about, nerfs.
Mhm.
Terran might be fine. I don't even know. Like we might just not figure something out. Leave it to the Koreans who who'll probably figure it out and be like, wow, we'll feel like idiots. We'll be like, why didn't I think of that?
Voodoo's
But
been out since '98.
yep, and it
You
took
know.
them however long to figure out everything they have
Yeah.
now.
It's a marathon, people, not a sprint.
Yeah.
So, I know all the WoW players, who are used to having these changes coming out every so often. I wouldn't necessarily expect that from this, and I hope that it doesn't happen that way. Honestly, I want the time to be able to evolve the game and evolve strategies and watch these people do their thing and have a good time. So I am not one of those who is calling to the heavens for changes every 6 months.
Yeah. It's not
So
needed.
all right, so I think that's pretty much it as far as how we feel about the Protoss race and all that stuff. Do you have anything else you want to add really quickly before we move on?
Um, Not really. That seems to get it all. Congrats to Huck on your win. You probably won't hear this, but I mean, big shout outs to you. Big shout outs to Husky and HD, Day9, JP for hosting that really awesome MLG tournament. Day9 and Apollo at IEM, you guys did awesome. Day9's everywhere, dude. That
He's
guy's
everywhere.
Energizer Bunny, dude. I don't know how that guy does it.
With
I'd be
it,
like, I just got back from Cologne, Germany. I'm not gonna go to freaking Raleigh, North Carolina. Get out of
yeah.
here.
And I just put together some huge launch party where
Yeah,
almost had a
that
heart
too.
attack because of all the stress, and now I'm going to do some casting. So,
Yeah, that
so
guy. That if anyone deserves, that guy deserves props, dude. That
yeah.
guy is everywhere. And
But well, when you're
big,
good, when
yeah,
you're good, people want you. So,
yep,
and you gotta keep going, keep striking while the iron's hot. So as long as he's getting work, I'm sure he doesn't care what one way or the other
yep,
how long it takes him, which is good. It's good stuff. So congratulations, Day Nine, on all your success.
definitely. Big shout out to Day9.
Yep. And so I guess we'll move on now to finish things up. Finish up this show with a little bit of people who live. Maybe some of you guys are into the NFL or into fantasy sports. I know there was a huge thread on Team Liquid about it, just about people talking about the upcoming NFL season. So I know there's a market out there and people who kind of do two things at once. People, it's perfectly okay to be into sports and play StarCraft, or
Definitely
you
okay.
know, I mean, you hear about the stories of people who play WoW who are like doctors and lawyers, and there are people that have varying interests. So, we really want to, and that's our interest too. We're huge football fans, so this is something that we love and wanted to talk about and share some stuff going on with you guys. So, we're gonna start with the NFC South. That division consists of the Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints. Congratulations to them. The Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina
Who
Panthers,
dat?
and your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How do you feel
That's
about
right.
this year?
T- Well, I actually feel pretty good. They actually have a quarterback who doesn't lose his spleen mid-game.
Well,
Um,
you-
so good job, Chris Sims, on that one,
okay.
dude.
Well, aside from the quarterback not losing his spleen, I maybe pretty good is not necessarily the best way to describe how you think the Tampa Bay Buck season is going to go this year.
Well,
Uh,
I hate to jinx my team because I hate saying they're gonna. It's awesome. They did get that defensive what is it, defensive tackle,
yeah,
defensive end.
Gerald McCoy.
Yeah, that guy's a beast, dude.
Yeah.
Watch out for him. I'm gonna say Mo Sacks, calling it. He's a new Simeon Rice,
All
dude.
right, you heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
Rookie
Calling it.
Defensive Player of the Year, Gerald McCoy from the Tampa
Yeah,
Bay Buccaneers.
quote
We'll
it.
revisit that at the end of the year and see how well that worked out for you.
All right. Go
All right,
ahead.
don't forget. I'm sure we'll get all tons of emails at the end of the year about your lofty predictions for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I wish. I
About how
don't know if
awesome
they're
it
gonna.
was.
I don't know if they're gonna do it this year, but I think they should go back to the creamsicle outfits.
Hey, you know
Uniforms?
what?
That's good stuff.
That's OG, dude. You got
That is OG.
that is
They are quite possibly the ugliest uniforms ever, but they're
next to
pretty
the Browns, probably the worst. Yeah.
they're pretty legit at the same
Yeah.
time. So let's start with the Super Bowl champion Saints. They were the division winner last year. If you're looking for some fantasy stuff, I mean, it's pretty much all standard. Drew Brees, one of the top three fantasy quarterbacks this year, is going to be, he can stay healthy. The only thing that can drop him in some leagues are those people who pay attention to Madden. Now I know
Yep.
you know where I'm going with this, but he went ahead and put himself on the Madden cover.
That's oh
So
yeah.
I
Watch
mean,
out,
who
guys. The
does
Madden
that?
curse. No,
Who
yeah.
does that? You're coming off of the Super
Yeah.
Bowl and you go and you perpetuate this Madden curse. I'm scared for you, Drew Brees. I really
I,
am.
I don't know if they asked me to be on the Madden cover, I'd be like, no, sorry. I
I
like playing
guess
football. Sorry,
I
that's
guess I
not.
would ask how much money am I going to get for being on the cover first,
Yeah, are you
and
guys gonna
then
pay me
and
when I
then
get injured?
decide whether or not I'll put myself at risk. But I think if anybody can kind of break that trend, uh,
It'd be Drew
maybe Drew
Brees.
Brees can. The only other person that they could put on there that would do that would be like Peyton Manning, who started like 150 something games in a row. So
Has he been on a Madden cover yet?
no, he has not been on a Madden cover, which is
Wow.
probably why he started 151 games in a row.
Yeah. They need to put him on a Madden cover.
They
Okay.
they need nerf
Someone.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah. David Kim. Where's a Nerf?
Nerf
We get a Nerf.
nerf Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So Drew Brees, there's not much you could say about him. He's a great player. He's got, the Saints, their offense is just ridiculous. Everybody's healthy so far. Their O line is fantastic. It's one of the best in the past couple years. They've actually in the last year they had the least amount of sacks allowed
That's what's
in
up.
the NFL for Drew Brees. So they also the running backs, their run blocking is great. The running backs, their little committee that they had, they averaged 4 yards a carry. So that's a first down every 3 carries. So that
Saint Pierre Thomas, dude.
yeah,
That guy is a beast.
Pierre Thomas, Reggie Bush, Mike Bell has since been shipped off to a different city, but those two guys will really, it's a split backfield. There's really no team in the NFL with the exception of like the 49ers, the St. Louis Rams, that really employ the Minnesota Vikings that really employ a one running back system. Everybody's now doing this running back by committee.